Moses and Aaron, Nadab and Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Israel went up, and they saw the God of Israel. There was under his feet, as it were, a pavement of sapphire stone, like the very heaven for clearness. And he did not lay his hand on the chief men of the people of Israel. They beheld God, and ate and drank. The Lord said to Moses, "Come up to me on the mountain and wait there, that I may give you the tablets of stone, with the law and the commandment, which I have written for the instruction." So Moses rose with his assistant Joshua, and Moses went up into the mountain of God. And he said to the elders, "Wait here for us until we return to you. And behold, Aaron and Hur are with you. Whoever has a dispute, let him go to them." Then Moses went up on the mountain, and the cloud covered the mountain. The glory of the Lord dwelt on Mount Sinai, and the cloud covered it 6 days. And on the seventh day he called to Moses out of the midst of the cloud. Now the appearance of the glory of the Lord was like a devouring fire on the top of the mountain, in the sight of the people of Israel. Moses entered the cloud and went up on the mountain. And Moses was on the mountain 40 days and 40 nights. This is the word of the Lord.
Thanks be to God.
Thank you, Elder Gary, for reading the word for us. You're supposed to read through 5 chapters because we are preaching through 5 chapters. And it's bad, you can say, it's read the first and the last portion. So we're going to preach through 5 chapters. Are you ready to stay here until about 1 o'clock?
Yes.
The lunch will be brought up here for us to eat and listen. Christianity. Christianity to many people, it sounds like a lot of rules and regulation. There are a lot of laws that do this or don't do that. Go here, but don't go there. Eat this, but cannot eat that. And say this, but cannot say this other thing. So it seems like a lot of do's and don'ts, a lot of taboos. And many people follow these and they're afraid of the taboos because they're afraid that something may happen to them. They out of 2 great motivations. One is fear. They are afraid that some misfortune will fall upon them if they don't follow the rules. They cannot accident. They get cancer, misfortune on their business, their children, or they'll be shamed. No, they are following the rules out of fear. Or it is like a case like Singaporeans. We have Singaporeans we are not supposed to litter. And a lot of Singaporeans don't litter not because we love cleanliness, right? Because we are afraid of the fine matters below. It's a fine $500. So we are out of fear. But second reason that people follow these rules in so-called Christian rules and regulation is for gain. They follow for gain. They think that by doing so, avoiding this thing and doing this other thing, you will get blessings. You get healthy, wealthy, wellness, you have peace. Some people think that because of that I can go to heaven. No. Is this really what Christianity is all about? You have to think about it. Is this what Christianity is all about? Well, don't get us wrong, don't get me wrong. We are not denying that when certain rules, certain sin, certain things that we do, there will be immediate consequences. Like example, you stick around, you will get STD, sexually transmitted disease. There will be immediate consequences. Or neither are we denying that in Christianity we do teach good virtues that we can gain. And the book of Proverbs it says by hard work, constant hard work, we do gain wealth. So there is something of this sort. But this does not define Christianity, because Christianity is not about this. Some people are missing the point when they come to the rules and regulation. But some of us here may object, say, hey, wait. Isn't it true in Christianity there are a lot of rules and regulations? In fact, we have many laws and regulations, so chapters after chapters. Look at these 5 chapters. 5 chapters of laws, almost 5 complete chapters of law. 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and it's not the end because we continue for furthermore laws. And the whole of Leviticus is all about laws, except 1 or 2 chapters. The rest are all about the whole laws of offerings and all this. today's passage, right from the beginning when Elder Gary read for us, we were smacked with this, the 10 Commandments, right in our face. So isn't it true that Christianity is about do's and don'ts? Well, I'd like to suggest to us that we look at the Bible carefully, that the 10 Commandments didn't start from verse 1. So if you miss verse 1 and 2, as the 10 Commandments starts only at verse 3, we miss the whole point. We miss the whole entire point. So, what is the point of it? It's in verse, the key to this is in verse 1 and 2. But let's pray together, shall we? Father, as we open up your word, we pray that God, you open up our hearts. Your spirit will work powerfully in us. You speak to us. And we know that God, your word is powerful. Your spirit is powerful to work even the hardest of all hearts. So we pray that God just do that for us this morning. Speak to us, help us hear your gracious and loving voice. In Jesus' name we pray. Verse 1 and 2, it says, when God spoke all these words, and he says in the beginning, I am the Lord your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt. This is a very important point, that this is a God, a powerful creator, who defeated not just the Egyptians, he defeated the gods of the Egyptians as well. He's a powerful creator, but yet at the same time, he said, I'm the Lord, your God. He is also a personal God who rescues them. A personal God who rescues. And he knows their suffering. He personally knows their suffering. In fact, if you remember, I just put out it over here, you don't really need to turn to it in Exodus 3:7. It says that God seen their affliction, God heard their cry, and God knew their suffering. When this word know repeated many times in the whole book of Exodus, the people didn't know Pharaoh. Pharaoh didn't know God. The people didn't know God. Egyptians didn't know God. But God knew the Israelites, and he knew their suffering. And in fact, he is delivering them from slavery. He says, out from the land of Egypt, out of the house of slavery. This is a God that actually delivers his people out of slavery, from this hardship, from suffering. They were suffering under this extreme cruelty under Egyptians, murders of the babies. Remember that in the earlier chapters? They were experiencing a lot of destructions and a lot of brokenness in this slavery. And God is now rescuing them and now giving them the law. But some of us were thinking, yeah, wait, we have to follow the law, but God rescued the Israelites and not us. We were not in slavery. The true matter is the same God who acted for the Israelites is the same God who acted for us. For we were once slaves, but some of us in our minds are, what slaves are we? We are free people. But remember the words of Jesus? John 8:34, Jesus says, truly, truly, I say to you, everyone who practices sin is a slave to sin. We are under the bondage of sin. We are under the bondage of sin. And in sin, we cannot live at the true image of God anymore, which is what we are made for. In sin, we are not free to worship the true God and to love him with all our hearts. It's impossible. In fact, we are not interested in him. And in sin, we are under the bondage of lust, greed, anger, unforgiveness, gossip. And because of that, we face a lot of destructive effects of it. We destroy ourselves, and we destroy the people around us. And in sin, we are not free from condemnation. We are not free from the judgment of God on us. We are not free. But like God acted powerfully to save the Egyptians, the Israelites from the Egyptians, this is the same God who is now powerfully acting to save us from the slavery in sin. And I continue from John 8. Jesus himself said this. He says, if the Son set you free, you'll be free indeed. You'll be free from condemnation, from God's judgment, righteous judgment. And more than that, he didn't just save us, he actually saved us, and he freely empowered us to love God, to obey him. Let me show you two verses from Romans chapter 8. Romans chapter 8 says here, it says, for all who were led by the Spirit of God are sons of God. For we did not receive the spirit of slavery to fall back to fear again. did not receive a spirit of slavery enslaving us again. No, it's freeing us to love God, to live like a true human being made in the image of God. But you will receive the spirit of adoption as sons into God's family, adopted by God, whom we now can cry out, Abba, Father. Now we can have this loving relationship with God and call Him Father. You can see that He saved us from condemnation, and He saved us to be free to obey Him, to be in His family. God as our Father. So Christianity is not merely about do's and don'ts. It is more than that. It's in fact what God has done for us. Christianity is about what God has graciously done for us in the first place. He saved us from slavery and sin and under Satan. He made us His children and is committed to love us and love us all the way to the end. Quoting from Tim Keller, he said this about Christianity. He said in religion, you obey because God is fearsome. You are afraid that if you don't do it, He will strike you. Or God is useful. You do it so that you can gain something from God. But this is religion. But say in Christianity, it's totally different. In Christianity, you obey because God is gracious. It's something He has already done for you graciously. And He's faithful. He will love you and will love you to the end. You know, so we obey the laws and all this, not because we are fearful or we can gain something, but because we are God's redeemed people. In fact, in Exodus chapter 19, verse 5 to 6, we are now God's own possession. We are now made the kingdom of priests and a holy nation. We are in fact a new humanity. We are a new humanity. We are a new people. And how should we live now that we are a new humanity? People who are redeemed by God. Well, we're going to go through the 10 Commandments briefly. And it will take a lot of time if we're going to preach through all the laws here. So we're going to rush through quite quickly. And I'd like to suggest to you that each of these commandments actually can be a sermon in itself. You know, so we're going to add on 3 more hours staying here, so until 3 o'clock. I'm not just kidding. So okay, but taking a look at the 10 Commandments is broken into 2 key portions. The first portion is upward movement, upward response or focus towards God, and the next 5 commandments is to our horizontal focus, our horizontal relationship, and the last commandment, the 10th commandment, I suggest to you, is the summary of the whole entire commandment, the whole entire 10 commandments. So the new humanity over here, if you look at the 10 commandment, it has an upward, a vertical relationship, and at the same time, a horizontal relationship. And in the words of Jesus, in Mark chapter 12, verse 29 to 30, summing up all the commandments or all the laws, Jesus says, well, it is about loving God with all our heart, soul, mind, and strength. That's what the first 4 commandments is about. And it's also loving our neighbors as ourselves. That's what the next 5 commandments is all about. And summarized by the 10th commandment. So there's a vertical focus, and also there's a horizontal focus. We'll run through them. I will give a brief explanation and probably some examples, and then we'll have a better idea what it means by this vertical relationship with God. Now that we are new people, and horizontal relationship with people, now that we are redeemed people. Okay. Vertical relationship. Commandment number 1. You shall have no other gods before me. Well, it really means that we should love God by worshipping the right God. We should love Him by worshipping the right person. It's just like you love your wife, but you don't admire other women. Or you love your husband and you start admiring other men. No, you don't. You love God and you admire, you worship the right God, not any man-made gods. We don't worship things that are made of gold or silver or huge stones and we don't fear these things because they are made by our own hands. We worship the true God of heaven and earth, who made the heaven and earth. This is our focus, loving God by worshipping the right God. The second commandment, we shall not make of ourselves images of Him. So I put that we love God by worshipping Him the right way. Worshipping God the right way, not a man-made way. We don't define the way we approach God, but we approach God based on His terms and not our terms. What is God's term? To approach Him is perfect holiness, without sin, from inside our hearts and in our actions. Perfect holiness, without sin in our hearts and in compassion. That's the only way that we can approach God. On His term and not on our term. Next, we shall not misuse the name of the Lord your God. What does it mean? We have to love God by worshipping Him with the right attitude. The whole reverential attitude that's required of us. Full of reverence upon God. Anything that God reveals Himself in His name, we do not take it lightly. So we don't take reading of His word, teaching of His word, preaching of His word lightly. We don't do it by skipping, by sleeping, or anything. We don't take lightly and twist the word of God and make it for our own advantage. For example, a drunkard person, and he's always drinking, and he says, "You must stop drinking." The person says, "Well, Jesus turned water into wine." So he used certain incidents in the word of God and twist it for his own advantage. There's no reverence for God at all, and no reverence for the word of God at all. Or neither do we casually, irreverentially curse or swear by the name of God. This is to worship God with the right attitude. Next, the last commandment that talk about God is that we should keep Sabbath. We should worship God. We love God by worshiping Him with the right priority. Right priority. We give time, we put effort to pursue God and His business. We don't put our own business above Him and pursue worldly wealth, pleasures, relationship above God. We don't. We are supposed to put priority and our time and effort to meet with God's people, to worship together, to encourage one another, whether one-to-one in small groups or in big settings, as they say. We don't put our sports, our late night games on Saturday night, our sleep, our studies, our homework, our work above all these things, above God and God's business. We love God by worshiping Him with the right priority. You see, why do we do that? Remember again, verse 1 and 2, we are the new humanities. We are redeemed as God's people. He loved us and He redeemed us. That's why we do it. In the next 5 commandments is about a vertical relationship. You shall honor your parents, your father and your mother. Is to love our neighbor, love people around us by respecting authority. The first authority that when we first enter into this world, is not our teacher, not the government. It's our parents, God-given parents. So if we don't respect our earthly parents, it is totally a fake claim to say that we respect our teacher, our government, our boss, and our pastors. It's a fake claim. And if we don't respect our parents, it's totally a fake claim to say that I respect God, who give us our first authority, and we reject this authority. How can we be respecting that higher authority who give us this authority? And also respect authority. So first, by loving authorities in our loving people by respecting authority. You shall not murder. We love people by respecting life. We respect all kinds of God's image bearers. All kinds. Whether they're high or low IQ, physically or mentally, functional or malfunction. They are made in God's image. I want to show you this example. This article I came across. Nia. Not Mia, Nia. It's an Indonesian girl. She has this effect, you can see in the screen, it's Apect syndrome. And it affected the way she looked, affected her own limbs development, and people bully her. People treat her as lesser. Well, this is not respecting life. She is totally made in the image of God. She's not lesser than any one of us. So when we bully people, when we look down on people who seemingly lesser than us, we are not respecting life. We are actually committing murder, murdering the image of God. So believers, we are against abortions of any kind. In fact, we promote adoptions of lives. That's what we do. The next commandment, you shall not commit adultery. Well, we love people by respecting purity in sexuality and sex. By respecting the purity in sexuality and sex. Because God designed sexuality 2 kinds, 2 genders, male and female made in his image in Genesis 1:26 to 28. God made two. God made Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. Neither is it Amanda and Eve. So it's Adam and Eve, two kinds. Their two genders are equally unique, precious, and powerful. So we respect the purity of sexuality. But God is also the one who designed sex. And God's design for sex is one man and one woman within the marriage context. So any form of sexual activities outside God's design is sin. It's not minority, it's sin. Premarital sex is sin. Extramarital sex is sin. Multiple partners is sin. Homosexuality acts is sin. Including all other forms, bestialities and all. This is sin. Next, you shall not steal. So we love people by respecting property that God has given to people. So we don't steal things from our office, from our friends. We don't steal, sometimes not in terms of things or monetarily, but it could be in terms of paid times. We don't extend our lunch time from 1 hour to 1.5 hours, 2 hours, break time half an hour to 1 hour, come in late, go off early. We don't steal these paid times. This is in form of stealing money, actually. Next, you shall not bear false witness. Well, we love people by respecting reputations. We don't pass on untruth rumors about people, fake news about people. We don't say untruthful things about other people as well, because we love people by respecting their reputation. And I told you earlier that the 10th commandment, the last one, is a summary of all the commandments. You shall not covet. This in itself is a huge sermon to be given on it. Francis Schaeffer wrote a chapter on this in True Spirituality, just on this commandment. And so what does this mean by love you shall not covet? It says, I sum up the last commandment as loving God by being contented in Him and not envying our neighbors but seek their good. We don't think that God shortchanged us, therefore we are discontented. Or God has given us something less than we deserve as compared to our neighbor. He's driving a big car, I'm driving my own car, my right car, my left car. It's only car I have. No, we don't compare things like, his wife is more beautiful than me, mine, and his result is better than mine. No, we don't compare. We don't think that God is giving us anything lesser or anything that we deserve compared to our neighbors. And we don't envy them, their relationship, their successes, their things that they have, their talents, their looks, their results, but we seek their good. We sum up the whole 10 commandments. Why do we follow them? Because we are redeemed from slavery. We are no longer enslaved by all these things. We are redeemed as free people to worship God and to obey. That is why we obey them. And I'm going to go through chapter 21 to 23, verse 13, the next 3 chapters, but in one single slide. So take a picture if you need to. It's a summary of what is happening. This is, if you see clearly, I'll explain to you what it is about. 21 is basically how we relate with neighbors working with us, the slaves, male or female. 21, 12 to 33, the neighbors who are in dispute with us, including our parents, including our people who live beside us, including the people who work for us, the slaves. How do we deal with them in dispute lovingly and injustice? And how do we deal with our neighbor's things, our neighbor's sexuality, and our neighbor in need, whether in need of protection, like the strangers, the foreigners, in need of financial help, those who are poor, and those who need favor, the enemies, and those who need rest, those who work under us, our children as well. So it covers all these things. So if you notice this, it is a kind of expansion of the 10 commandments. Oh, we finished 3 chapters. Quite fast, right? But I like us to notice some very important things within these 3 chapters, 3 or 4 chapters. Actually, it begins in chapter 20. And these repetitions are injected between these 3-4 chapters. And it keeps repeating. chapter 20, verse 23 to 26, do not make idols of gold or silver. Chapter 22, verse 20, do not make sacrifices to any god. Chapter 23, verse 19, 13 and 19, do not mention other gods' name. Can you see, in between talking about how we deal with one another, is injected with this and repeated again about God, our worship of God. The first 4 commandments, our vertical relationship. What is this happening here? I'd like to suggest to you that this is it, that there is an intertwined linkage between the vertical and the horizontal relationship. There's a very deep relationship between our vertical relationship and our horizontal relationship. In fact, that is why I think there's a failure of the false religions in Egypt, or maybe even the Canaanite practices, the Canaanite different groups of people in their religious practices. That's what they fail to exhibit. That's what they fail to show in Egypt and in all the foreign countries, in all these false religions. Because for one moment, you can see these kings and these nobles climbing up the stairs, turning to heavens, raising all their offerings. The next moment they turn, they can be so cruel, so abusive, and even murderous to their fellow men, to one another. And that's what we saw in Egypt in the earlier chapters. Egypt is one of the religious centers at the time. Many gods that they worship, thousands of them. But after that, immediately they turn to such cruelty in slavery and in murder. They turn in such cruelty. So they can be so religious, but yet they have no regards for fellow human beings. So I'm suggesting that there's this intertwined relationship between the vertical and the horizontal relationship. You cannot be saying that I love God, but you don't love His image bearer. It is impossible to claim that you love God whom you cannot see, and you hate your neighbor whom you can see. It is not possible. You cannot say things like, actually I love God, but I cannot stand people. It's an impossible claim to hate God's image bearer. You cannot say I love God, it's just as a church I cannot stand. It is impossible to claim this. So we must love people as God's image bearers. Different kind of people, different social status, the rich and the poor, the slaves and the poor. That's included in these 3 chapters. Different genders. That's why in this law there are a lot of protections for the female. Because they are not lesser. And for different skin colors and nationalities, there are strangers in the midst of them. You must love them. And for people in authority, the parents, the governors and all. So they are all embedded in these 3 chapters and 4 chapters of laws. Because we love God is shown in love for His image bearer. Why do we do that? Because we are God's own possession. We are redeemed from sin. We are different people. We are the new humanity. And chapter 23, verse 20 to 23, there's a call to obedience. The call to obedience to God's people, to God's redeemed people. And verse 21, you can take a look at this. He says that you must be on guard to obey. You must be on guard to obey. It seems that we must be on a high alert. I hope you can see the word. High alert. We must be on guard to obey this law because we are the new people, the new humanity redeemed by God. Loved by Him. Experience His grace and faithfulness. But we ask ourselves, what does it mean to be on this high alert? Verse 24 will tell us, Verse 24 tells us that you shall not bow down to their gods or serve them. In fact, you shall utterly overthrow them and break their pillars into pieces. Verse 24 says, we must be ruthless. We must be ruthless. Second, verse 32, it says, you are not to make covenants with the people in the land or their gods. Don't make covenant with them or their gods. There should be no compromise. No compromise. And what is promised to us? Victory. God says, I will chase all these people out before you. I will clear them out. I will send hornets before you. I will clear them. You will have victory. The call for obedience, to be high alert, and there's a promise of victory. But one question we ask ourselves is, why are we always defeated by our enemies? And our enemies, I do not mean our teachers, our in-laws, our bosses. I don't mean our nasty neighbor next door. Neither is the enemies are not the neighbors who cause the haze that we're experiencing. No, it's not. These are not our enemies. The enemies are sin and temptation. Sin and temptation. Why are we constantly defeated by sin and temptation? Well, one very clear reason from this chapter is that we are not on high alert. We are neither ruthless to sin. In fact, we compromise in our temptation. C.S. Lewis said this. He says, an apparent trivial indulgence in lust, or anger, or gossip, or greed or gossip today is the loss of a rich or real line or rich head from which an enemy may launch an attack, otherwise impossible. And trivial indulgence, a trivial indulgence in any of these sins and temptation cause us to fall. So how should we do? Well, if it's a gossip, if you know that you're going to the pantry and the office place, and people are gossiping about the boss, or you're in the canteen and people are gossiping about the teacher, what should you do? Well, stand up and walk out from the room and pray. Pray that God will control your tongue. Well, you may be seen as antisocial because of that. Or if it's greed, you want more money, be ruthless to it. Give away your money. The more you love it, the more you give it away to the poor. Give it to the gospel ministry. And pray that God will deal with your idolatrous heart. You may be seen as a fool. You say, wow, you know money, where is you give? You may be seen as a fool. If it's lust, be very ruthless to it. No compromise. Don't take a second look at the poster, at the image, at the website, at the person who dressed scantily in the MRTs. Turn away, walk away from it, and pray against the heart of lust. You may be seen as a coward. People may say, why are you scared? I'm scared to try. So you may be seen as a coward. Of his anger, you lose your temper at your spouse, your children, your subordinate, your sibling. Be ruthless and no compromise. Go back to them and apologize. And pray that God will keep you humble to apologize. Parents to children as well. To your siblings. Well, we may be seen as weak. But why do we do that? Why do we need to be in so high alert to deal with sin and temptation? Because we are the new humanity. We are deeply loved by God and we are saved from sin. This is why. Why should we not regard it as something important, being seen as antisocial, a fool, a coward, or weak? Because we have something even more precious and more important to us, which is a loving relationship with God. And this is what He graciously invited us into. Chapter 24 is a gracious invitation. God, verse 1, God invited Moses and the leaders up to the mountain, the leaders representing the Israelites to go up to a certain distance. Well, you must imagine that this is a very scary image, up to the mountain. It's very scary. Big crowds above, thunder, lightning, earthquake, smoke, fire in chapter 20, verse 18. So the people are moving upward to this mountain. And in fact, chapter 24, verse 16, 17 says, when God's appearance, God's presence is like consuming fire that will actually eat you up. It's very scary, isn't it? These people representing God's people going up there to meet God. How can this be a gracious invitation when they are going up? But verse 10, take a look at verse 10, chapter 24, verse 10, it says, they saw God. There was a big surprise. Verse 11 says, and they were not consumed. They were not struck down. He did not lay the hand to slaughter them. But they saw God, it could be, they saw, I put there, an angel bearing God's name, an angel representing God. This in chapter 23, which we did not read. Chapter 23, verse 20, God says, I will send an angel for you. You must hear his voice. Chapter 23, verse 21, last part says, this angel will bear my name in him. So they could really see, what they really saw may not be a physical God, because God is spirit, What we saw is probably the angel of God who represented God. And under his feet were this path of sapphire, clear as sky, so bright blue crystal path. And they were not consumed. In fact, verse 24, 11, end of 11 say they sat down and they had a feast. They ate and they drank. They had a fellowship under the feet of the Lord. I put here, they had a sweet communion in the presence, in the holy presence of God. The sweet communion in the holy presence of God. We have to really pause here and ask ourselves, how can this be possible? How can this be possible? If we can paint a picture, it will probably look like this, but maybe worse. The whole mountain is shaking. I cannot shake the projector for you, but the whole mountain is shaking. There are smoke, there are sound of thunder. It's something impossible. How can sinner meet the holy God and not be struck dead? How can the Israelites are nowhere near God's standard? The Lord of God only show how far the Israelites, God's people, were away from His standard. The standard of loving Him and loving their neighbors as themselves. They are far away. In fact, in the law, within these 5 chapters, it points out to us that failure actually are met with death sentence. Death sentence. Let me go through quickly with you. The misuse of God's name is death sentence. Murder is death sentence. I showed you the verses there. Disrespect of parents by either striking them or cursing them, death sentence. Kidnap, death sentence. Negligence upon warning and cause of death for other people, death sentence. Sexual sins, death sentence. Bullying to widows and orphans, death sentence. Corrupt of justice, death sentence. How can sinners meet the holy God and not be struck dead? Well, the solution is in verse 4 to verse 8. Verse 4 to verse 8. There was an altar that was set up. There was burnt offering and sacrifices or peace offering that was given in verse 5. And the slaughtered animal's blood, half of it was sprinkled on the altar in verse 6. The other half was sprinkled on the people in verse 8. What does this signify? Death sentence still must take place for all offenders. People who break God's law must still die. But in this case, the oxen was slaughtered, represented the people. Is death also represented for the people? The blood shed was for this purpose. Is to satisfy God's justice, God's holy wrath against sinner, and the people symbolically died for their sin. Not them, but the bull and the ram that was slaughtered, the sheep that was slaughtered. They didn't die. It was symbolically their sins has been paid for completely. And now, therefore, because of complete payment of sin, they can enjoy that close, loving fellowship with God in His holy presence. But this is only a symbolic act. How do we know? Well, let me show you a portion from Hebrews chapter 10. He said, it is impossible for the blood of bulls and goats to take away sin. It is impossible, of course. But consequently, many years later, when Christ came into the world, He said, Jesus Himself said, sacrifices and offering you have no desire, but the body you prepared for me. In burnt offering and sin offering, you take no pleasure. Sorry, it's not there. Okay, verse, and it says, and then behold, I've come to do your will, O God, which is to offer Himself, His own body that God prepared for Him, out as a sacrifice. And this is written of me in the scroll of the book. The Old Testament has been talking about this. In the scroll of the book, the Old Testament is pointing to Jesus. Thanks be to God that Jesus came. His death on the cross and resurrection provided a safe shelter under God's holy eyes, the consuming fire. You can still enter into God's holy presence and enjoy this sweet communion with Him. We were once sinners, breaking God's holy law, perfect law. We take a look at the 10 Commandments, and death sentence should be hanging over our heads. It's what we deserve. If you look at the 10 Commandments and you understand the law, at least for myself, I think I should die over 10 times or 100 times or 1,000 times. I should die 1,000 times and more. Yet, this God gives this gracious invitation for us to enter into His holy presence, His loving presence, to have this fellowship with Him. When our death sentence is fully paid for. Not paid by goats or bulls, but paid by Jesus Christ, God's only Son. And He gives us His Holy Spirit so that we can obey Him. He gives us His word, the commandments, so that we can now follow Him and give us His holy church. So now as God's new people, as new humanity, together, as a royal priesthood and holy nation, we live under God's loving rule. Two questions to ask for those who are not Christians in our midst. Will you come to God by faith in Jesus? He gave this gracious invitation. Come to Him. And He has provided the way, His way, not our way, the way through His Son. But for all the rest of us as Christians, we remind us that we still need to come daily by faith in Jesus. Sometimes Christians think I'm safe. The rest of the Christian journey, I try my best. No, you can't. You are safe, and you continually, every day, you are dependent on this gracious God through Jesus Christ to come before Him every day. He saves us, not just once, He saves us every day from us. We need Him every day. He must come. Let's pray. Thank you, Lord, for your gracious act upon us. Not that we are good, but because you are good. Not that we are holy, or loving, or respectful to you. It's just that you are merciful to us, and you provide a way through Jesus Christ. When we come and live as a new humanity before you, loving you and loving the people around us, demonstrating who you really are to us, to the rest of the world, and to one another. This we pray